I thought of recording last night, but I didn't because I had so much to say. And now I'm sitting here thinking maybe I should have recorded, but to I'll try to they're like she probably thinks it's funny when she gets no views or low views. You know, Alyssa. Um I mean, I guess it's a good way to be like, look, you can't copy me because your YouTube videos get 159K views and mine get 6 views. And you guys like to copy me for money. And you can't copy me for money if I'm getting low views. So, um, that's probably what I'm saying. Money being energy. Um, they're like, in other words, she's too smart for her own good. That's what my friends in LA used to always say to me. So we're all laughing about it right now. Maybe it's the only way to get money, is to copy me, to be above board and is to copy me, and you can't because you can't start a YouTube channel and get 6 views if your life depended on it. Well, let's see what happened yesterday. A few things happened. There might be a new protocol where all of Hollywood gets replaced by normal people from my hometown. They might be from your hometown too. Who knows how that's going to go? But I keep seeing them pull their energy out of people in Hollywood and replace them with people that I grew up with. And that's because you guys keep insisting that I can't marry Hollywood elite and have like a happy Hollywood elite marriage. Chris Pine said there's lots of multidimensional Alyssas that are helping her, and he saw me and Chris Evans married with our kids, and he was like, that those were the ones that came forward when he said that sentence, and he was like, there's Chris Evans and Alyssa and their family. I hope they're doing well today because I obviously got bleed throughs of that, and we were at Chuck E. Cheese with one of our sons. It looked like we had 3 kids or something like that in that picture. Um, so it might be the same family from the future, and we just had one son, something like that. Chris Pine is a badass. I was watching Chris Pine yesterday, and there's like so much sexual energy when you watch Chris Pine. It's like there's like certain men that when I watch them, there's just like so much sexual energy. Like, I want to say women, probably men too, but I want to say women direct towards them, and you can just feel it. It's like palpable. And I just find that interesting because I'm like watching my friend, Chris Pine to me is my friend, and there's just like so much sexual energy, and it's obviously like through the women that are looking through my eyes, and they're like so attracted to his glamour and his perfect face and his perfect attitude and his the way that he dresses. The way he dresses is very Alyssa, and they're just like really really attracted to him. Um, yeah, so they might pull the energy out, or they are starting to pull the energy out of the Hollywood elite and replace them with normal people that I grew up with. Um, since you guys won't let me marry Leonardo DiCaprio, and there was 20 years of a good marriage, of a perfect marriage there, that basically we got suspended in space for 20 years, above and below it, and we're sort of circling around the perfect marriage of me and Leonardo because people couldn't accept it, and they like to have their weird fantasies that Leonardo DiCaprio can't be good to a woman, can't marry a woman over the age of 19, no matter what his age. That he, you know what I mean, that he's not a decent guy. They love to have this fantasy in his head that he's not a decent guy, he's not a decent guy, he's not a decent guy. And him marrying a normal woman named Alyssa, and having a perfect marriage with her for 20 years ruined their fantasy that, all men are trash, and, all men can't be trusted, and there's no point in getting married, or if you get married, you're going to just be disappointed, or, that's just the way marriage goes. That's just the way men are. It just ruined their entire fantasy of men versus women overnight. And it's like they couldn't get over that. It's like they have to have this power and control that like men and women can't get along. There's like this whole fantasy that things can't be perfect because it's Earth. It's this entire fantasy that these people, this entire race has, and I don't mean white or black, or it's a race, it's an alien race that's on Earth, that's infested Earth, that things can't be perfect, and it's infested all of Earth. And me and Leo's marriage wipes out that infestation, and it ruins by ruining their fantasies that people can actually get along, people can actually be nice to each other on Earth, and that humans can actually be perfect on Earth. So the energy is combating that by pulling the energy out of people like Leonardo DiCaprio and replacing them with normal men, and probably normal women too. And yeah. Hello, Papa. We had a little scare with Fresh's eye this morning. If you guys want to direct some positive, healing, perfect energy towards Fresh, this little eye seems like he has like a little allergy. Seems like he has a little bit of allergies because his ear has a little bit of allergies too. So um, it seems like it's okay. Seems like it's okay. Fresh, you okay? Seems like it's okay and it's healing. But yeah, that was a little scare this morning because I was like, what the hell happened to his eye? Like everything was fine. And I took him out for his morning. See, he's closing his eye again right now, or he's closing both of his eyes. So I took him out for his like morning pee, and then I was making my coffee, and he comes in the kitchen, and one of his eyes is like closed shut, and I was like, what happened, Fresh? And now he keeps opening it and shutting it, so I think it's healing. Um, he gets allergies once in a while, and I think it's his allergies. Um, so um, So yeah, they're pulling the energy out of the Hollywood elite to show that there's nothing there and to freak people out. Where did their Hollywood celebrities go? The world may never know. I watched Poltergeist again. I finished it. I only watched like the first part of it last night or 2 nights ago, and then I watched the rest of it yesterday during the day, and it was amazing. And I saw River Phoenix come through the mother. Her face turned into River Phoenix's face through the mother, and River Phoenix has been saying that he'll start auditioning again out of nowhere, and it'll be the River Phoenix. It won't be like a young man that looks like River Phoenix or something like that. It'll literally be River Phoenix. And people are just going to be like, how is River Phoenix alive? And how is he auditioning for movies again? But we have to make a point. And so there he was in Poltergeist. Um, and so what else? What else, Jeej? What else happened yesterday? There was a lot. Let me think. I wiped this eye with some like baby wipes, to try to get like whatever irritant was on there off. And I might give him a bath. Yeah, I think the big thing was that River Phoenix is going to start auditioning again. That was the big thing from yesterday as Gigi looks at her notes. Um, the, yeah, that was the big thing from yesterday that a dead man named River Phoenix is going to start literally auditioning again in Hollywood because you guys won't back off of Hollywood and leave us alone. You keep persisting that something's there in Hollywood and you have to make money and you're driving it's crazy with, you know, I was just thinking about my job last year and how they gave me barely enough money to pay for food and rent. And it's like I talked to them about it, at work, like how, like literally, how am I supposed to live here? They're increasing my rent like a couple $100, like, they usually do every year. And I don't know if I'm going to get a raise or a bonus or not because you guys love to play like mixed signals at work. Do you like me or not? I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to have enough money to pay my rent or not. We're going to pull more money out of my account to literally just pay for myself. So I'm literally paying money to work, which seems really counterproductive and counterintuitive. And um, you know, it's like you lie to me in the interview and say like this is totally enough money to like get by or whatever, but you leave out the fine print. It's totally enough money to get by if you have roommates, or if you find somebody to get married and take care of you, or even though we're not, we don't let you get married, and even though you're already married, da da da. And um all this, just rigmarole to be like, well, we're losing Alyssa to the general public, to Chris Evans, and what's the last things you want to say to the baby, and just like never literally letting me go, and it's just infecting all of the general public, and it's just like spanking after spanking, because like you have to scare me to stay with you, like, oh no no, you can't trust Chris Evans for whatever reason, um, for A, B, and C, because and really the real reason is because we don't want to lose you, but it's like you don't have any like wherewithal to say what you really mean, or to be like that, and um how ridiculous it is to work for a place that you barely are making ends meet or whatever, and they're like, just quit drinking, just don't drink wine, and it's like, wow, I didn't know that I had to stop drinking wine to be able to work, and it's just like, or just quit smoking, just quit smoking and drinking, Alyssa, just be sober. And it's just like so controlling, but like you can't say that, right? When I'm actually married. And they didn't do the same thing to Colin Christensen, did they? Where he's like constantly being like, I'm sober, I'm sober, I'm sober. They didn't say the same thing to him, right? um, like, oh, you have to quit your proclivities. You can't smoke and drink. Like, it's your world, but you can't smoke and drink. Like, how is the poltergeist going to react to that, knowing that it's definitely my world? Not very well. And it's like there's like certain things they can still get away with in the 3D world that we don't understand why they can get away with it. Um, Zelda and Link ambiance, no ads. So, I don't know if I have much else to say. If they don't give back the Christmas codes, they'll get stuck in the organic platform planet template forever. So there's people that have Christmas codes that need to give them back to me. Um, so they were saying that they go to the organic template kind of once a year, when they see how they're affecting like other people's energy. I'm thinking about moving this broadcast to outside right now, and how the organic template basically is like with organic people walking around, and with organic people walking around, and then they'll just walk into place, and you'll see them walk into place and they'll become a tree literally out of nowhere. And then you'll come to into the normal place, and then there'll be a tree there where there wasn't a tree before. And you'll be like, why is there a tree there? And then the person that went to the organic template is like, I saw my great aunt walk into place and she became a tree out of nowhere. So they're like, it's wild when you give your kid Christmas presents. And giving your kid Christmas presents is a part of Christmas codes. Like, you can't believe it. I was in the dream last night. I was with my friend Kwa, and he was he was driving, and the roads kept going from icy to hot. It was like icy hot. It was like literally like it literally went from a blizzard to a desert, and it kept like going back and forth, and it was like really crazy roads where like it was like a giant ice hill, and you had to drive over this gigantic ice hill out of nowhere, and then it would be like really warm all of a sudden out of nowhere, and you'd be like, what the hell is going on? What else did she say? When you see it, when you see your family members trying to go crazy about it, you turn into Harley Quinn. If you're like one Alyssa, makes you turn into Harley Quinn because you like can't believe that like people are like doing this, and then the other people think it's you, and they think that they're on the same wavelength. So it's another part of like going crazy. And then it like turns into like the organic template, sometimes like in the middle, and then things look like inanimate objects out of nowhere. And then you start tripping, and then there's cameras everywhere, and you see organic people forming out of the earth and walking around, and that's when people start walking into place and becoming trees. And it's like just like so crazy that you don't talk about it to your family. You only talk about it to like Alyssa or whatever, because she's the only one that believes you, unfortunately. And that's how you become friends with Alyssa over time and space. As we've demonstrated with Leonardo DiCaprio, it's definitely all men, as we've demonstrated with Leonardo DiCaprio. And that's why they're pulling their energy out of the Hollywood elite. Because of backlash, whiplash, basically. Because you're all listening in and you're not letting us get married and take care of each other out of jealousy or out of the fact that I'll just walk into Colin Farrell's house and you'll never hear from me again. And, they're already laughing at that. Like, isn't my job to take care of the planet, the entire planet? The sky was like bright pink last night, so I want to say it was Saturnian. It was a Saturnian sky. And sometimes it can lead to neglecting others in your life when you start to see these weird bleed throughs or paranoia. I mean, there's nothing there, so there's nothing to listen to, right? There's nothing there. There's no one to be sweet to. There's no one to hold sweetly. There's no reason to question why you're ending up a mechanical bull. So there's no reason to listen in. I've already given the answer. If the stalker wants to come forward, now would be a great time. It's like these creepy women can't get a clue and they become stalkers. And then they always make excuses as to why they become stalkers. And it's like there's really no acceptable excuse to treat your fellow brethren the way you do. And to keep us from Chuck E. Cheese if you're all listening in. There's no excuse. My friends walked in yesterday. My friends from Hollywood literally walked in to my house in Burlington yesterday. And it's starting to become less and less subtle. And you should be afraid of that. And, I'm just so sick of the stalker women. I just can't stand them, dude. I can't stand their energy. And I think that's why River Phoenix is coming forward, because we can't stand our own energy in stalker format. I fucking can't stand it. So it has to be replaced with you, named River Phoenix, because you is from hell. Oh, what Shauna said yesterday was we listen to Alyssa again or we go to hell again. And Poltergeist, at the very end, it has this mouth breathing esophagus in the closet that looks very visceral and very real, and it's like sucking the kids in it. And it's the recycling center that people get recycled in. And it tries to suck the mom and the two little kids into the recycling center. And I want to say people have seen that in their real life, probably in their closet, probably in their home, and they're afraid to come forward and talk about it. And, that's a real thing. That's a real occurrence that's occurring right now. And it'll become more visceral if you keep stalking me. I'm so sick of it. Pay attention to yourself and like be a good person. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like so annoying. So the Christmas codes are sort of like, I think it was Mark Wahlberg that was talking about it, and it has to do with Christianity. And Christmas codes, did I say that? Has to do with Christianity. Um, it's sort of like when you see what's real and how inanimate objects aren't inanimate objects, and that everything is interpersonal consciousness, it affects your psyche. And then Kourtney Kardashian was saying, once it fills in with what you need. The organic template fills in with what you need. And you see that everything isn't real in the organic template. Like you'll see like a mailbox becoming a person out of nowhere. And you'll be like, what the fuck? And then the mailbox will start talking to you as a person, for example. And then when you come back from the organic template, everything has changed. And it fills in to give you what you need. For example, cheap rent. For example, cheap phone. For example, the job of your dreams. For example, the love life of your dreams. And we were thinking, why would the organic template do that to these people? Is it to make you feel stupid for your struggle? Because I think it's the people on the struggle bus that gets sent to the organic template. And then all of a sudden you get all of your needs met out of nowhere. And is it to be like, to make you feel stupid for complaining and being on the struggle bus for 20 years? And then all of a sudden your needs are getting met overnight and you're just like, I don't know what's real. I don't know if I can trust this or not. But what it does to the dad's confidence, like what Mark Wahlberg was saying, it just gives you so much confidence that like everything, when it resets, everything's going to be as it needs to be. And it makes you a better alpha male for your group. It makes you a better dad for your group, for your family. But why would that happen? Why would that happen when you create such a huge conglomerate disaster? Then all of a sudden it's erased. And what does it have to do with Christmas and Christ? And then all of a sudden you have all of the answers and you become the God of your group, of your family. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. But anyway, that's what me and Mark Wahlberg were talking about yesterday, like how it doesn't really, how that's what happens, but like it really doesn't make sense as to why that would occur. When there's just one. Another thing I was shown yesterday was I saw Gigi becoming the ancient reptilian race called the telomeres with purpley bluey, scaly skin. and there was an overlay right on top of it of a Lyran saying, "Please don't do this to us." Or is it literally the same thing? Are the Lyrans and the ancient builder race called telomeres at odds with each other, or are they literally the same thing? And are they a part of the same occurrence occurring? Because they were superimposed on the exact same person named Gigi Young at the exact same time. So who's opposing what? Which alien is opposing which alien? Or is the human opposing it because she's not? It's like you've had 45 years. That's why we hate the stalkers. Like, aren't the stalkers the worst in Last of Us too? I think the stalkers are the worst in Last of Us.
Joel here. Today, I'm in the thick of it. Down here in the basement of this abandoned hotel, I'm after one of the rarest types of infected, a stage 2 stalker. After the cordyceps fungus completely covers and takes over the brain of its host, you're left with something that moves like a runner, but hits like a clicker. Stalkers are smart. They track and ambush their victims, and they're darn good at hiding from you. They can also take a beating, so choose your weapons wisely before picking a fight with one. First thing I recommend, backing yourself in a corner and using dead ends to funnel them to you. Set
Okay.
traps at the doorways to help deter ambushing. And if you fancy yourself an archer, you can make quick work out of them. Never underestimate the power of a few strategically placed Molotov cocktails.
Okay, yeah. I think that's what the clicker was in the Last of Us season 2 episode 1. I think she was a stalker because I was like, wow, she's really smart. I don't remember her in the video game. And now I'm like talking about stalkers and I'm like, wait, aren't stalkers the worst in Last of Us? And like whenever I watched Last of Us 2, like I never noticed the stalkers ever. Like how many times have I watched Last of Us? Isn't that weird? I've never noticed. I always hear my friends when I was playing Last of Us with my friends or whatever. I'd always hear them say the stalkers are literally the worst. And it's multidimensional. Um, yeah, it's like the stalkers. I've never noticed the stalkers in Last of Us 2, but I've always heard my friends say the stalkers are the worst. And I think that was the stalker in Last of Us 2 episode 1 because she was so smart. She was so smart. And it's like before the infection like takes over the brain completely. It's like before the infection takes over the brain completely, they still like have like their smart stalker brain installation because we all have stalkers in this world. I have a fucking stalker. You have a fucking stalker. Like if you don't have a stalker, you're a stalker yourself. You know what I mean? Like you can't get a life. Like, you, you know, for the life of you, you cannot get a life. You have got to stalk the prettiest person in your group, or the prettiest boy, or the luckiest person in your group, or that you see as the luckiest, or whatever. Like, you have to stalk the light. Like, there's something inside of you. It's just like you have to stalk the light as if your life depends on it, and we hear that. Okay, we hear that over at Melina Co. We definitely hear that, and we're definitely sick of that. And I've been telling y'all to get a fucking life for at least 10 fucking years. I've been telling y'all stalkers, which is a Last of Us term. I've been telling y'all to get a goddamn fucking life for 10 motherfucking years. Get a fucking life and get the fuck off of my Instagram page. You know what I mean? And it's the same exact thing. It's literally the same thing as Last of Us. Okay, that's where you're going to end up, as a Last of Us zombie. Okay, and you want to laugh at me now and say it's not possible. Zombies are sci-fi creatures. Okay, it's ridiculous. Like, to stalkers are the worst things in the world. I swear to God. Um. But yeah, that makes sense. I've never seen this. I've never seen a stalker. And how many times? I'm gonna watch it today. Isn't that's so fucking weird? I've watched Last of Us probably 100 times, the video game. I probably watched it 100 times, and I never noticed the stalker before. So they made the stalker very prominent in Last of Us 2, episode 1. Like, yeah, she's smart. She's so super smart. As far as like a clicker goes, as far as like a zombie goes, not as far as a human. That's not smart as a human. Okay? Smart as a human would be to get a life that you're happy with and to just leave people alone. That would be a smart human, you know. So yeah, Selena Gomez, you're a stalker. You know what I mean? You're a zombie stalker. Okay, Selena Gomez, you're listening in. You're a famous zombie stalker. Okay? Now, you can go left or you can go right, Selena Gomez. It's up to you. Okay? It's up to you, Selena Gomez. I tend to believe myself. All right? So you just can't get a life. You just can't get a life for the shit of you. You know what I mean? And you got to pretend you don't care about my life at all when you're around me. You know, I'm mad. I'm mad for my boyfriends. I'm mad for myself. Okay, I love my boyfriends, but we're basically the same people. You have to understand us. You know, you got a nice boyfriend, Selena, or or fiance. He seems like a very nice man. Okay, to be happy with, Selena. Um, I would just go in that direction, Selena. I would just go in that direction if I were you. Just try to be happy with what you have. Um, he seems like the nicest guy in the world, does he not? Mr. Benny Blanco, I think is his name. He seems like literally like the nicest guy to hang around. And people like Selena don't care about those types of things, okay? Because I know I can hear it already. Like, what he's not as good looking as Leo DeCap, okay? This is it, that's gonna get you in trouble, Selena Gomez. Okay, you're already a jelly belly. Okay, you're already a jelly belly, Selena, and we're trying to help Miss Selena. And you know, it's a spectrum. good looks is a spectrum, and you know what? If somebody has a good attitude and is the best person in the world, doesn't that make them look 100 more times attractive? I think so. I would rather hang out with Benny than Selena any day. Selena, I think, would drive me crazy. And isn't she beautiful? You know what I mean? By classic standards, isn't Selena Gomez beautiful? Like, I don't want to hang out with Selena. You know what I mean? I would rather hang out with Benny Blanco than Selena any day. Um, it's like, yeah, so that's a stalker. That's crazy to me that I watched Last of Us 1 and 2 like 100 times and I never noticed a stalker before. That's what they're called. As you just heard, you can just Google it like I did on YouTube, Stalker Last of Us. Then it comes up. And stalkers are the worst. What do you know? Stalkers are the worst in real life too. Um so I never noticed them in Last of Us. I always heard them say stalkers are the worst, but I never like could tell which one was a stalker. But they made it very clear in the TV show. I was like, wow, this zombie's really smart, and so that makes sense. It's like before it takes over all of your brain, and you still have like a human brain to like act, and then you can act like a stalker and stalk your prey, which is another human. Um, I mean, imagine being a zombie and biting humans. This is crazy that the human race is this immovable. Is the human race an immovable object energy? Because that's what it seems like to us today. It seems like it's an immovable object. I don't think it's an immovable object, but it seems like an immovable object today. My dog needs a nap. My dog needs a little nap. Are we going to wonder where Leo went? You know, um, I'm not going to wonder. But you go right ahead. I saw the flowers popping up out of nowhere, clusters of yellow flowers popping up out of nowhere. And I think those were my organic people. That was the beginning because I have to kind of go lightly on myself as to not freak myself out. And so if I just see that might freak me out too much, if I see clusters of people and I go up to them and I actually start having conversations with them and I'm realizing they're real people that are just popping up out of nowhere, that might make me faint or something. So my energy, that which is my parent, starts gently with me. And I think the clusters of flowers was the beginning of the clusters of organic people that I'm going to see. And if you want to say that out loud with your mouth, go right ahead, Becky. Okay, you got other girls saying the word Becky over there, and I'm just like, does it really matter? I don't even know anymore. We'll see if the organic template gets more stronger. I don't even know if that matters anymore. The the whole reason we have social media is because I wasn't allowed to get married. Because y'all got so jealous when I got married to Gabe. So it formed social media on the organic template. Okay, my startup disk is full, so I gotta go.